Thank
Yeah,
you.
usually we have to, there we
Okay,
go.
there we go. Okay, thank you, Eric. So City of Somerville Municipal Scholarship Meeting, April 8th, 6:04 p.m. coming to order. And Sherry, Melanie, Cindy, Darcy, Eric are present. A quorum is present. And I am going to go into the background.
Okay, great. I'm going to read the minutes from the last meeting. So that was Monday, March 25th at 6:30 p.m. And in attendance, Eric Lopez, Sherry Pitkin, Darcy Hanna, Cindy Lee, Melanie Kessler. Sorry, Cindy Lee wasn't at the last one. But we did have a quorum. The committee reviewed the city's online application form for the scholarship. Melanie indicated that we need FERPA approval to get transcripts from students and we'll have to adapt the form accordingly. Committee has decided to accept unofficial transcripts for applications and will request official transcripts for awardees to confirm information before releasing funds to the schools. Adjustments need to be made in several categories. Eric has noted them. FAFSA isn't available if students don't have a social security number, so MASFA is an alternative. We'll ask if they have applied for either and for their SAI, which is their financial need. Eric will make edits with the IT team and we should see the next version on Wednesday. Once it's ready around the end of March, we can populate the flyer with a QR code and send it out to counselors. Sherry reviewed contact list for schools and prepared introduction letter for them. Applications will be due May 1st. And that's it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Anybody second it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Linda, I was trying to just pull up the minutes that you submitted for this meeting. Sorry, it's taking me a second. Or sorry, the agenda items for this meeting. But I know we were going to start off talking about. Oh, yeah, I got it. Outreach to the community regarding the scholarship. So, wanted to get an update if folks were able to email the different folks they were going to send the application to. I saw that it was in the Somerville newsletter, the city newsletter. It went out that way, and I was emailed that by other friends and local residents who said, "Thank you so much for doing this." So we're really grateful that that went out there, Linda. If that was you're doing or someone else is doing in the city offices there. But how is the communication with sending it out to the other schools going?
Schools. It was sent to all the schools. I only got one return, and that was from the International School of Boston. And I don't know why I got a return because I had spoken with them personally. Melanie wrote back and Melanie's on right now. Melanie wrote an email back with a couple of concerns that we can go over in a moment. And everything else, I think, went smoothly. We did get a response from Arlington Catholic, as you guys can probably all see when you look in the conversations portion of the website. And we have one application that's in already. The one thing I wanted to ask you about outreach to the community is I'd like to propose that we post something on the patch again this year. I don't know if you remember, we did that last year.
We did that, yep.
Do people approve of that? And I can get something to them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think there were 6 or 7, if I'm remembering correctly, schools and venues that we were reaching out to. So at this point, I just want to review a couple of things that Melanie had brought up, if you guys are ready to do that. As
Sure.
far as the application is concerned, there's an area for 6 sports activities. And Melanie brought up, is it possible for that to just be optional because that's a lot? Can we change that in the application?
Yep, that should be good to go. But I'm happy to do that. Cut that down to 1, make it a growing list of sorts where it can grow if students need to, but it would be optional after. Even the initial one would be optional.
There was also a question about the description of the scholarship being merit only, whereas we have defined that it's merit and financial. And I guess that is not made clear on the application.
Tell me, tell us more about that. Sorry about that. Cool, go on. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I know. Thanks, Sherry, for entertaining all my questions in my wearing my other hat as the college career counselor. On the website, on the Somerville website, where then you can access the JOT form, it says this award is based on merit only. And I only brought that up because I know we had that conversation last week. We had looked into whether it was based, someone had looked it up and sort of seen how the scholarship was given out. And I guess I just wanted to get clarity on that. Is that just like a typo on the City of Somerville website, or has something changed?
No, nothing's changed, Melanie. No, thank you for bringing that up. I think I just simply left that off and did not delete that off the page. I think it was one of those things where I sent him a huge document on the application questions, but I did not send him, I think I must have not sent him the piece where we were talking about and related to that. So yeah, no, happy to send it over to Dan. He should have that edited and removed shortly thereafter. That was the entire eligibility section, like that top half of the about page was just formatted from the policy, and the policy itself, like this board is based on this. We can take that out, considering we've changed that in the policy internally.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then I don't know if it matters, but it says that there's 5 scholarships available, and or not that it matters. I don't know if that's true. I know last year there were 6 given out, or if 5 is a set number, or if it's sort of determined each year based on how much money is available.
We said 5 last year.
Okay.
There was a situation that asked for us to accept the 6th. I think if there's something similar, we'll accept the 6th or the 7th.
Okay.
But again,
but 5 is still the goal.
5 is the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Okay.
And I think, Melanie, there was one more thing you had brought up. I think it said that there was a section in the application where it says, add your question here.
Yeah, it looked like it was just like something where it was a question that just didn't get deleted off of the form. I think it was a space that was like where we would have added a question onto the application, if that makes sense. So, but my colleague who brought those questions to me said they did the application with another student the next day, and that those were all fixed. So I don't know if someone was able to go in and fix it, or at least that that piece was deleted. I don't know.
I am trying to do it live right now, so I'm also gonna take a look. But
maybe they just missed it the second time, but okay.
Yeah, because I sent Dan at 2 or 3 separate emails, because at one point we were just working back and forth on different pieces, and so I'm grateful that he caught all of it, and I'm grateful that maybe he did catch it in the end. But yeah, I'm doing a walkthrough now, and we'll report back if I see anything, any anomalies like that.
Great.
Any other?
Yeah, it seems like. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it does seem like maybe he went back through and did it. I think some things that we had talked about last time were not initially reflected, and then the next day after it opened, they were so things like put your counselor name here. You know how we talked about doing that for the transcript.
Yeah.
It wasn't on there initially, but then it was. So yeah, maybe it's just sorted itself out.
And I'm trying to get through here. No. Oh, this is great. Yeah, the upload of a document. So I'm walking through this. Yeah, so we can keep moving forward. I'll just keep trying to adding in things here as we. I'll keep walking through the application to make sure we're all good. Anyone else have any comments or questions about the application itself, the edits we've done, or simply the format that we've provided? I'll drop the link again to the form as well into the chat if anyone needs it to locate the application.
I think just you'll probably catch this as you're doing it. Oh, never mind. This is the same thing. I take back what I was saying. Forget it.
No, don't worry about it. It's all good. Um, hmm, great. All the little other buttons are working, so I'm happy that that's happening so far. The financial aid box looks good. He did keep in the free federal reduced lunch program and the eligible for a Pell Grant. Do we still want those in? I think that's something that came up in our last conversation, but I'm not entirely sure.
Said that we were gonna take the lunch out because everybody's eligible for free lunch now. And
Right,
I don't
right.
remember what we said about Pell Grant.
Well, they'll know that they're eligible for a Pell Grant, but you also see it in the STAR. Maybe just having it marked as a Pell Grant and them knowing it might be good. Hmm. Should we put in, are you eligible for a Pell Grant? Yes, no, I don't know. Is there any reason to do that?
Is was the purpose of that question to determine financial need, or was it to determine whether they are eligible in terms of citizenship? Because I think you could read that either way.
Got it. Yeah. Financial need for the most part.
Okay, because we use like Pell eligible a lot of times in terms of
mhm.
like if someone is not Pell eligible, a lot of times we're talking about the fact that they can't fill out a FAFSA. So.
Hmm. So in that case, would we remove it mostly because it's redundant since we have the SAR in front of us and it's attached here? Hmm.
I think we had talked about removing it if I remember correctly.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. Happy to move forward with its removal. Okay. All right. Anything else on the application? And I'm also walking through it now as well as I kind of try to catch up here. Because the only other agenda items are updates on scholarship total applicants, which we have one. Thank you for that report, Shari. And then 3 is comments or questions regarding the application required information. So we can live within these 2 agenda items for now. That's cool. I like that you can report a family activity as something that happened and like started when they were like born. If you've been working at your family's restaurant since, forever doing little odd jobs here and there, but still it's nice to be able to profile the impact of that. I was muted. There's a lot of noise happening in the background. Oh, just ran into what I would think is maybe a problem, but I ran into there's not a confirmation page at the end, which is okay. There is a thank you for your submission has been received. Okay. I did not find that superfluous question, Melanie, anymore. So I think it has been eliminated or deleted, or maybe someone contacted the city as well on that.
Great.
Beyond that, I mean, I think we just got to get the word out some more. I think that's our goal here, and I'll I'm sure the patch will help us out a little bit. Shari, I might try to chime in and email those schools again just to get them a little bit more attention.
Yeah.
But that's only because I just go ahead.
I was gonna say, how about, also aside from, I'll contact them again, I'll send out another email blast. What about the flyer? Did that go out? Is that like in our libraries or at least at the high school someplace?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that as well because I've put it out there, but it would be great if I had a flyer with the QR code.
Yep, I got that for you here. I think it's all it's missing is the QR code. I'm just sitting on it here. Yep, I got it here.
Okay.
Photo, do pay large. Okay. Yep. I will send this over shortly after this meeting. Great.
Okay, Eric, if
If-
you could email that to my work email, and then I
Yep.
will send it. I'll print it up for the treasury and the front welcome desk in City Hall, and I will send it to the director of the parking department.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Thank you.
If it's helpful, I can share like how I've shared it at the high school.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
That's
Melanie.
helpful
Yeah,
for people.
that'd be yep.
So we have a couple ways. So I sent it to our director of communications who will share it out through social media. I don't know if she has yet or not. And I have put it on our weekly slide. There's a slide deck every week that has like the student announcements, you know, this club is meeting, blah, blah, blah. So I put it on there. We've sent it out via email to all seniors and their parents and guardians. And there might have been one other way that I got it out that I can't. Oh, I mean, I sent it out to like our staff to make sure that they knew about it. So once we have that flyer, I will send it. I sent it out to like the counseling team, you know, to the college and career team to make sure that they were working with students on it, and they are. I know that several students have already started it, but once we have the flyer, I'll send it to the whole school and ask, you know, teachers to print it and put it in their classrooms and things like that. And we'll also put it out there. And yeah, we'll just keep emailing students and we'll send text too. So
Awesome. Okay. And I'm most. Oh, Linda, go ahead.
I think last year when I had sent it to the school finance director and I had asked him to disseminate. I think we also asked for it to be sent to the elementary schools or like the PTA meetings or something like that. If there were any, just in case there were students who weren't paying attention at the high school, that maybe we might get it to them, to their parents' attention through the other schools.
yeah, I mean, I can ask the PTAs if they want us to do that. We've emailed it directly to all of the senior parents. So hopefully their parents would see that way, but
Perfect. That's great.
yeah. But I know there's also a Facebook page. There's an SHS Friends and Family Facebook page. So I may ask someone to post it there as I have not. Yeah.
Oh, if anyone could do that, I do not have connection there, but would anyone here have that access to that?
I can do it, or I can ask one of my colleagues to do it. I took Facebook off my phone now and I don't know how to get back to it. So, but
That's
I'll
totally
figure it out.
reasonable. No, that makes a lot of sense. It's all good. Great. Well, if you need help with that, if you want us to be the ones to do that, facilitate the information, we're happy to do so.
Okay.
I'm mostly done with the Scholar, also the flyer right now, and I'm going to email that to everyone here following this time. Trying to remember our email actually. Oh, there it is. Scholarship. Scholarship. I thought it was scholarship. Sorry, the brain is on the Monday schedule. An eclipse schedule. I hope everyone had a fun eclipse day. All right. All right. Scott, the class of 2024. Right? That's what you were. Okay. Great. All right. So the flyer is now done. I will email this over shortly right here following this time here. So I will happy to do so. Okay. Anything else on getting the word out? Anything else on the application itself?
You probably talked about this during the last meeting that I missed, but it just looks great. And I'm excited because the Dollar for Scholar application was so tedious. So seeing this in Google form it's just wonderful.
I'm very happy to hear that. I think everyone else should be as well. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. Melanie, Linda, and everyone else, actually, now that I think about it, a preference over this being an image file, like a JPEG file over a PDF file. I'm sending you both, but please let me know if you need it in additional file types moving forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, but either or both are great.
Great. All done. All right, so I'll email that right now.
And then do we have our next meeting set?
No.
Do we want to go ahead
So-
and set that?
Yeah,
that'd be
do
great.
you guys want to do that virtually again?
Yeah, that would be fine with me.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yep, and by our next meeting, we should have more applicants and something else to talk about. I'm wondering if we should talk about how we're going to score our applicants so that, we could all be ready, maybe even by the next meeting to go ahead and review what's already been submitted. So I know last year, Eric, we had this awesome scoring system that you did.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if you could just put that in maybe the conversations email again to just refresh our memories. And
Yeah,
then we could
absolutely.
use that. Yeah, that would be great.
What I'll do is also I'll ping it in. I'll put it in a document inside of the at least a skeleton of it in the Somerville Scholarship folder, the SharePoint, and I'll share that out that way to make it official.
So one of the dates we looked at was April 29th, but if we think that 3 weeks is too soon, the next proposed date was May 13th. Can anybody, chime in on what they think is more relevant?
29th and 13th still work for me, definitely.
Do we need both, or shall we try one or the other? We could always just touch base and make a short meeting if that's, if it's virtual, that's easy to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the 20.
the 29th is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, Darcy, I think we were going to say the same thing. Go ahead. You're good.
I mean, it's right before the deadline. So I don't know, we would still maybe have some latecomer applicants coming in. So I'm not sure how useful it would be to meet that day.
And we
Yeah, I
feel
think that's
strongly that now we've finalized the application, we don't need to, I'm concerned about like playing devil's advocate. What if there are some kinks that still need to be worked out over the next couple of weeks? So, how do we address that?
Yeah, then it feels like the 29th might be too late though, right? 'Cause it's just like 2 days before, 3 days before the deadline.
Well, I guess as long as we get like the critical information and on the essay questions answered, which is already, part of the application, then, we'll use that information, but it looks good now. I think we can just go with the positive assumption that the kids will have an easy time getting through it. Maybe what we could do is schedule for the 13th. And if we see some emails like coming in from people with questions, maybe then we can go ahead and schedule something for the 29th with good notice for Linda to set it up.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
20,
if
yeah.
we think we might need it, I'm fine with just keeping the 29th. And if it's super short, it's super short, but maybe we just check in just in case.
So Linda, can we put 2 meetings on, one for April 29th and one for May 13th, both virtual?
Yes, and I need an agenda. So I have the agenda in front of me right now. One was outreach. Two is updates on scholarship application on applicants. I'm sorry, updates on scholarship total applicants, and then comments or questions regarding the application required. Do you want to keep any of those? And we could add scoring process to this.
Yeah, I would say bullet one would be scoring process and application review process. And then the next two can be the same ones that are already existing there. Basically the same agenda, just changing number one to scoring process and applicant selection process review. Something of that nature would be great. The following two would be the same, yes.
So 1, scoring process; 2, application process; 3, applicant selection process review; 4, did I get that wrong?
No, it's all good.
No.
Sounds
Okay,
good to me.
what's 4? Updates on scholarship total applicants?
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
Updates on
okay.
scholarship total applicants. And then comments or questions?
Sure.
Okay,
Can we add something to that, Linda? I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe we can discuss next time what our financial pool is at this point, if there
Yep.
have been, yeah, what's our total that we're working with?
okay, so
Thank you.
how about if we start off with that?
Great.
You want to finish with it or start? Where do you want it?
Yeah, let's start with that so we know what we've got.
Okay. So 1, financials. Update. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna use that as an agenda for April 29th. And I'm not gonna be able to schedule May 13th unless I have an agenda. So do you want me to try to put the same agenda through for both days?
I think the May 13th agenda would also include review of applicants.
Okay, so the May 13th I'll remove scoring process. How's that?
Yep, exactly. I was gonna say, remove scoring process, remove the budget conversation, and we can add in review of applicant.
Budget, review applicants. Okay, I have make. Okay, so I will do that.
And Linda and Melanie, you should see the flyer and the image in your inbox now.
And just to review, I'm going to do another email blast. I can do that tonight. And I'm going to get in touch with the patch.
Yes.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Can I ask one question that may be very, I don't know, seem minor, but I will get it 100 times from the kids. When we say it's due May 1st, is that at 11:59 p.m.?
May 1st, 11:59 p.m. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to know, like, we
Yeah.
ran into this with our own thing, and then if
Yeah.
they submitted it, okay.
That's a really
the-
stressful Wednesday night, but sure, go ahead. All right. Have fun.
Does the form, just so I know, I'm sorry, these are the types of questions, does the form turn off at a certain point, or are we just sort of going to track who submitted it by May 1st? Like,
You could still
Am I muted? Oh, I'm sorry.
so the way that I would think it works, and this is the way that Dan did for me, it sounds like they'll just edit the link for the actual application off the website. If someone is still filing it and has it open on their computer and it's like May 2nd at midday and they're clicking submit, I mean, it's not going to stop them, but I also
Okay.
don't want to stop that student, right? So if someone has a link to it, great. But if we see a submission on like May 4th, I don't think I think we'll have to make an executive decision as to whether or not
Sure.
that student is in the pool. But May 1, May 2, the April 31st, right? All good.
it won't physically stop them from submitting it. Okay, these are
Exactly,
the
yeah.
questions that I'll get. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. All right.
Okay, I don't have a
If-
calendar in front of me, so are these both Mondays, by the way? I'm just curious.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Mondays at 6 p.m., both virtual.
Anything else? thank you for, again, everyone for chiming in and being so productive on this stuff with scheduling these meetings and getting this all together. That's the biggest headache of all of this stuff. So I just appreciate it. But is there anything else we should think about as we enter these next few weeks, or anything we should watch out for as people turn in applications? You can see I believe Dan put everyone on the email where he gives you access to the applicants, but let me know if you don't have that information.
You know, the only thing that comes to mind, and I don't know if this really makes any difference, is when we had applicants last year, as few as we had, we weren't identifying them by name. We felt that it was important not to do that when we were scoring, and we were identifying them by number instead. And I don't quite know how to make that happen again.
I think there's a world where we can assign a number to each student as they get into the process, and we can then thereby have that number be their identifier. But I will happily look into what the submission portal looks like. So like our portal where we look at things, and I'll be able to go from there.
Yeah, I think our main concern, if I remember correctly, was just privacy as we're discussing this and, you know, wanting to not have to say their names aloud on something that's recorded or is a public meeting, since they're minors, some of them.
Right. We'll still try to do an offline review
Yeah,
separately to then bring numbers in so that we don't have to talk about anything other than applicant ID numbers and our final review of that. And obviously we'll go over that as we reach our next meeting date.
sounds good.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, team, I propose that we adjourn.
Seconded.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you,
I'm grateful
everyone.
that none of you are in a car from Burlington trying to drive back to Boston. Happy to
Are
know
you
that you
telling
are all
us something, Eric?
No, a good friend of mine just texted me the image of his Google Maps telling him it'll take him about 5.5 hours to get back right now. So
Oh my
that's to say,
goodness.
grateful you all are where you're at. Thank you again for coming together for this. And yeah, we'll call it a night.
Yes,
Thank you.
and
Thank you,
and
everybody.
Eric and everyone, Melanie, thank you so much for all your work on this. It's really appreciated. I know it was a lot. And I think it's really wonderful that you had such a seamless transition from that other portal to, you know, doing something on your own. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, good
No
night,
problem.
everybody.
Good night,
Okay,
stay
everyone, good
safe.
night.
Good night. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.